What I started with was this AMT Ertl 1934 Ford Sedan. I think it was about 1985 when this was released. What you see here is what I found in the parts box. This kit was assembled, but it wasn't all that nice of a build. However, I decided this was going to be taken apart and rebuilt, and the style of a 60s era drag. Something along the lines of what a backyard race team, so to speak, would be building to run out on the strip. After tearing the model down, as you saw in the previous picture, and determining what exactly this rebuild was going to be, you can see here that there was some modifications done to the body. The paint was scuffed a little bit. The engine was detailed. And just kind of getting an idea of what's going on here in a mock-up kind of situation, trying to work out a lot of the little details before really getting into the main part of the job of rebuilding. So one of the things I definitely did not like about this particular kit, after discovering it or rediscovering it, was the exposed door handles on the body. And door handles themselves, I believe this was suicide doors on this particular kit. One of the things to realize and remember is that this build is almost 40 years old. So going back through, I guess I shouldn't be so hard on myself, because the build was actually not too bad considering it was 40 years almost, but it could definitely have been better. When I unearthed this kit, one of the things was that it did not have a motor or trans mounted, but in the same box I found this, what I believe to be a 392 Hemi. Has kind of a high-rise intake, almost like a tunnel ram with 2 4s on it. So I said to myself, that would fit the style of this rebuild that you're doing, so why not use that? So here you see everything cleaned up and some new fuel lines on there. You can't see the plug wires because they run from a magneto on the back of the manifold and underneath the valve cover. Right. In order to use that 392 Hemi that I located, to make it properly fit the chassis, the firewall of the sedan needed to be recessed. So, did indeed recess the firewall. It sets the engine back a little bit further than stock, which I think actually looks better. The aesthetics are much more pleasing. But it also kind of fits the idea of a 60s style drag car, whereas kind of offset that motor to get a better transfer of weight, so to speak. One of the other items that needed to be addressed due to using this non-kit 392 Hemi was motor mounts and a trans mount. So here is a picture of the modified frame with the handmade motor mounts and trans mount in place. On to the interior. The existing interior was just about completely scrapped as I took the ugly, really poorly painted seats out of the interior. Had to open up the floor for the transmission to clear, and I also did some modifications to the dashboard and kind of drilled out where 2 gauges would have been from the factory that would no longer be used, and added a couple of other little parts and whatnot together for final assembly. But one of the other items that I needed to put in this vehicle was a roll cage. And I had no roll cage parts or anything laying around from other kits, so out came the lighter and I made a little bending mandrel, took some measurements, and made up my own roll cage for in this 34 Ford Sedan. Yeehaw! Look out. Safety last. As you can see in this photo, this is actually the completed, updated interior for this 34 Ford Sedan drag car, with everything nicely painted and some other little details added. There's a moon tank where the passenger seat would be. Also added a fire extinguisher to the roll cage. And on the floor next to the driver's seat is a helmet. Because, as I mentioned earlier, safety last. This picture probably should have been placed prior to the previous picture, because here are all of the parts, all finished painted, and getting together and preparing for final assembly of this rebuild. Now, a couple of other items that maybe some important. The headlights and the spreader bar have been removed from this kit at this point, because you don't really need those for a drag car. So the holes and all of that had been filled in and sanded smooth. The same thing goes for the taillights. In this photo, you will see the final assembly of this backyard drag sedan, where everything is completed. I have loaded up the sides of the vehicle with some Go Fast stickers and a little flame action on the bottom of the doors. Needed a little something extra there to break up the monotony. Here's another shot of the Hemi, now installed in the chassis correctly, and finished detail. A couple little things, little nuances going on right here. I also wanted to include another shot of the interior after it had been installed into the body in the correct fashion, just to get a little bit of an idea of what this looks like when you're standing on the outside looking in. One of the other bits that I found while going through just some of the parts boxes that I had to try to finish up this 34 Ford Sedan drag vehicle was I found some trophy and also a plaque. Thought it was kind of interesting that on the plaque there is a picture depicting a 34 Ford two-door sedan, and on the plaque it reads first place NSRA USA. So the plaque is chrome, and what I did was I tried to marbleize the background on the plaque. It actually looks a lot better in person than it does in this photo, but I think you can kind of see how the marbleizing sort of enhances the chrome. There's a little bit more realism there. And then the trophy was just one that I found in a box of a bunch of other trophies and shop equipment. Now, wait a minute. What is, where did that come from? What the hell even is that thing? Hello! What? Over here! Hello! This is the Big Daddy Ed Ross. What? Well, I just thought I'd stop by and show off my crazy little new fangled creation right before I head out. Hang 10, catch a couple of cool waves. Right. Okay, thanks for stopping by.